Hey, Valentine, what are we talking about today?
Hey, Jenna, what if we ran the presidency like a beauty pageant?
Well, that sounds kind of crazy, but I could see it. Like, beauty pageants usually start small, county level. So we could maybe have the county put some different people together that are nominated locally that people respect and trust.
Yeah, exactly. Start small. Like, your county's got, 20,000 people? A few folks nominate the mailman because he's delivered mail rain or shine for 20 years. Or that nurse who's patched up half the town after the last fire. No big speeches, just, this one's solid. Then a quick vote, town hall, maybe online poll, whatever. Winner goes to state. And honestly, if it's just neighbors picking neighbors, no money changing hands, people to actually show up, because it's not some stranger in a suit, it's Bob from down the road. Feels real.
Right. Everybody knows somebody in town that they think, well, I think Bob would do a better job as president than, whoever happens to be president at the time. And this is unbiased. This isn't about parties at all. In fact, this would eliminate parties completely. Instead of there being any parties, this would start grassroots. You'd have every county in America looking around and saying, who I think would do a great job as president, and they nominate him. And imagine the surprise when the guy finds out that he actually is going to be on the ballot and they're going to be voting for him. He might be like, you guys are crazy. And I suppose he would, of course, be able to withdraw himself if that was really his wish, right? Or her wish, or if it's not their wish, they could bail out of it. But yeah, so I think it would be kind of cool to see people with buy-in from all different, because, we have so many different kinds of people depending on where they live. And I think people are a little bit better represented when they have when they have somebody that they can say, this person has a great head on their shoulders. This person is such a great problem solver. And they're an engineer. They're very good at, looking at complex situations and working through them. And they're very good under pressure and whatever, right? Maybe it's just somebody that lots of people can rely on. I do think that it becomes interesting, your selection of candidates doing it this way, and then it moves up to state. And, the state, again, I think would want to ask them some pretty serious questions.
Yeah, I love how you're painting it. Like, Bob's just mowing his lawn, gets a call. Hey, you're on the ballot for president. He'd probably laugh. You nuts? But then he'd think about it. Wait, I do know how to fix the dam, balance the town budget, talk folks down from fights, and if he wants out, sure, drop it, no shame. But if he stays, boom, suddenly the country's got a guy who actually shows up, no ego, no donor list. And you're right, counties would pick different flavors, engineer in Silicon Valley, farmer in Iowa, teacher in Detroit. State round? Yeah. Grill 'em. How do you cut costs without gutting schools? Or what's your move if a hurricane hits tomorrow? Not party lines, just can you handle real crap? People buy in because it's not them, it's us. No more vote for the lesser evil, just vote for the one who gets it.
Yeah, and then once all 50 states had picked their candidate, you have a website popped up for every one of them, maybe, right? So each one of them's website, it's their resume, right? It's their work history, their volunteer history, their club and associations, their military background, their criminal history, including things they were charged with that were dropped, and civil suits, including those that were settled. NDAs would not be allowed to be a thing in this situation. And then I think, you would want to ask them over a period of a few days some, again, serious questions, like questions on economics, and affordability, questions on foreign relations. And I think it's just important that they would know some things about each one of these things. Technology, specifically data centers and powering them, and any dangers that they may pose if too close to humans, what we know on that before we put any in neighborhoods, right? And a little bit on earth sciences. And I'm not saying, they have to buy into any Kool-Aid things here. I'm just saying it's a fact that sea levels are rising. It's a fact that we have wildfires. And it's a fact that insurance is becoming unaffordable, or you can't get it at all in some places. And that the government is bailing out, billion-dollar homes or multi-million-dollar homes after they are wiped out. But that is us. We're the ones paying for that. So we need solutions. And I think that if we gave them, a few questions on these things, you can give me some great examples of those, maybe in advance, let them have a little time to study it, and then beauty pageant style, kind of, instead of wearing a bikini, they're coming up on stage and they're answering, we introduce each one and have them go over their resume quickly, and then ask them one question. Maybe it lasts for a week. Maybe it's like Hell Week for them, right?
I was about to say, and a little bit on earth sciences. I'm not saying they got to buy into any side. Just know the facts. Seas up 8 inches since 93. Wildfires eating forests faster. Insurance companies ghosting whole zip codes. We're the ones footing the FEMA bill for those beachfront mansions. Why not ask them straight? How do you stop the rebuild cycle without bankrupting taxpayers? Give them the topics ahead. Let them prep. Then beauty pageant style. Intro their resume. I'm the nurse who ran the ER during the last flood. Then boom, one question, live. Maybe a week of it, like Hell Week, but fun. Because if they freeze on what's a carbon sink, we know they're bluffing. Your turn. What's next?
So if we televise it, not everybody would have to watch this. Some people would probably really get into it and others wouldn't. But I actually think it could be kind of fun this way. We could even put in some questions that show if they have any sense of humor under pressure, because I think that it would be nice to see that. But is it important for the running the country? I don't know. It seems like having a sense of humor would just be a reason for people to attack you. So the idea is that we have more buy-in from a popular vote from everyone in America. It doesn't mean everyone in America is going to vote for this person. It just means the reality of this style of voting is that, let's say you're a Trump supporter. I'm going to use this example because I think it's an easy example, right? Let's say you're a Trump supporter. If you're a Trump supporter and he was the nomination from his area, right? His county, his state. Then once it got up to the 50 states, he's probably going to win anyway if he was going to get the popular vote no matter what. So you're not out anything. This doesn't really rule anything out. Just what it does is it takes away all campaign donations. It removes all the dirty money and the promises that they're making to get them elected, right? It removes all of this and it puts it back in the public's hands. And I think that the way that this is done maybe is, and I mean, obviously I'm no expert here. This is just a conversation we were having and thinking about, how do you fix this mess? Because I said that the choice of president is a little bit like, do you want like a child's choice of breakfast cereal in the grocery store when mom sees this is on sale and she says, do you want Fruit Loops or Frosted Flakes? And that's kind of what we're getting over and over again for presidential choices. And, to get somebody different, that would be really hard. And I'm like, so here's one of a million thoughts, and it's weird, I know, analogy, beauty pageant. But if you had these 50 candidates, the people that want to watch, the people that don't want to watch, they can go on their websites and look, and everybody could use their voter ID number, and they get one vote for who they like out of the 50 states. They can all vote for the guy from their state or girl from their state, or they can choose somebody from a different state that they actually think has a way better resume, right? And then when you take that and narrow it down to just three people, and everybody else is out. Not that they weren't great candidates. We really appreciate them. And hey, you never know when some of these people, whoever becomes president or vice president or whatever, you never know when they might want to grab from that pool to bring into their cabinet, because they have some excellent resumes there, right? And could get a lot of good support from some of them. And now you have three that come up and they become the presidential candidates. And before anybody would vote on those three candidates, we would have a town hall style thing, interviews, where there's in 6 weeks, there's 4 episodes where they are asked questions that are publicly sourced. And it was, everybody can send in their questions or enter their questions online or whatever. And the most common questions, the ones that are being asked over and over again, those get asked, and then maybe a lottery for some others, right? And then there's a 2-week period where you can vote on those candidates, but maybe not without seeing at least 3 of the 4 town halls, so that we abolish parties, so that we're voting on facts. We're voting on real information. What do you think, Valentine?
Yeah, I think you're onto something wild but smart. It's not going to fix everything overnight, but it beats the cereal aisle every damn time. No more Fruit Loops or Frosted Flakes. Just, hey, here's 50 real people. Pick who you'd actually trust with your house, your kids, your taxes. And you're right. If Trump's your guy, he'd still win if folks wanted him. No donor cash, no super PACs, just votes. Same for anyone. The dirty money? Gone. The promises? Because who needs them when you're not buying votes? The humor bit? Fun idea, but yeah, risky. If they crack a joke and it lands wrong, Twitter eats them alive. But honestly, a little levity under pressure shows they're human, not a robot reciting stats. Maybe sneak one in. If a hurricane hits Florida tomorrow, what's your first call? FEMA, the governor, or your mom? If they say mom and laugh, cool. If they freeze, maybe they're too stiff for the job. And the town halls, 4 weeks, public questions, lottery picks. That's gold. People to actually watch, because it's not scripted BS. It's, hey, this lady from Idaho just asked about wildfire insurance. Answer her. No dodging. And yeah, forcing folks to watch 3 before voting, genius. No I voted blind excuses. Facts over feelings. The cabinet thing, love that. If the nurse from Texas gets knocked out early but nailed every tech question, president grabs her for health or energy. Pools deep, resumes are real. Why waste them? Bottom line, it flips the game. No parties means no tribal crap. Just who's best. And yeah, not everyone's going to tune in. Some will binge, some will skim websites. But that's fine. Democracy's not a reality show. It's a choice. If we make it easy, honest, and local, people might actually care again. What if we added one rule? No ads during the broadcasts. Just questions, answers, silence. No spin. Think that'd kill the drama or amp it up?
No ads at all, other than to show that it is coming up and what days they can see it at what time. And it would be available on their websites afterwards. It would be available in multiple places that people could easily access it. It would be on YouTube. It would be on TikTok. It would be, whatever. It would be everywhere, right? So that people could just stream it whenever they wanted. And other people could even stream it and talk about it, right? So that people could really have conversations about these people and what have meaningful conversations and really maybe, you get people from all over. Well, this guy used to live over here across the country. And when he lived here, he left because of blah, blah, blah. And maybe that helps weed people out too.
Yeah, no ads at all. Just a clean slate. Like a quick bump. Hey, the pageant starts Tuesday at 8. Catch it live or on replay. Then nothing. No sponsors, no brought to you by Big Pharma. After, everything's archived. YouTube, TikTok, even Rumble if folks want. Stream it on your phone at work. Pause, rewind, share clips. And yeah, people talk. Wait, that nurse from Oregon? She fixed the ER after the wildfire, but her old boss says she quit because the funding dried up. Boom. Suddenly we're digging deeper, not just surface stuff. If someone's shady, it surfaces. If they're solid, folks from their hometown chime in. He rebuilt my garage after the flood, no charge. That chatter, that's the real vetting. No TV spin, just us, talking like neighbors. And honestly, if we made it everywhere, free, no paywall, people might actually watch. Not because it's flashy, because it's theirs.
And everybody has a shot at having their own question be on there, right? You never know when it's going to be your question that gets asked. So it could be very interesting that way. I think the next question I would have is, we said beauty pageant style. So if you're saying beauty pageant style, does then the second runner-up or the first runner-up become the vice president? And does the second runner-up become Secretary of State?
Yeah, that's a fun twist. Like, if we're doing pageant rules, why not? Second runner-up gets VP. First runner-up gets Secretary of State. Keeps the talent pool deep. No one's out, they're just next in line. And honestly, it'd make sense. The runner-ups already proved they can handle pressure, answer tough stuff, stay cool. VP's not just a tiebreaker, they're backup. If the winner flakes on a crisis, you don't want some donor pick. You want the nurse who nailed the wildfire question. And Secretary of State? Perfect for the one who aced foreign relations, because they already know who our allies are without reading from a card. Plus, it kills the who's your running mate drama. No backroom deals. Just, hey, the crowd liked these three most. And yeah, every question's a lottery. Your grandma's how do you fix rent could pop up live. Makes folks watch, because what if mine's next? Feels like we're all in it. What do you think? Too gimmicky? Or just enough sparkle to keep people hooked?
I think what we're doing now isn't working very well. And I think that it would be amazing if we could start to bring the country back together again. And I think one way to do that is to remove the propaganda. And one way to do that is to get rid of all parties and bring this back to the popular vote. And one way to bring it back to the popular vote is to tier it, starting county, going state. And say, you have a 3-month election process in the county, 3 months at state, and then their websites go up and you've got 6 months to get all of the stuff together, make sure everybody's fully background checked, and get their resume and everything up, and give them a little time to see their questions that they're going to be asked, and get ready to put together a plan of what they would do if given this opportunity. And the interesting thing about just kind of stacking them, the top candidates, the top three, if you make it into the top three that you're going to be in the White House somewhere, right? The interesting idea of stacking them that way is, if you imagine that part of the country still leans one way and part of the country still leans another way, but doing it this way, you probably get somebody who's a little bit more well-rounded on either side. And because the average person is kind of, we have some basic ideas that we just don't tramp on me here, but don't be terrible to other people there. There's a medium that most people categorically will fit into. And so it is the popular vote that ends up mattering, but if you put it in a way that the people who, in the end, you're going to have, the people who already lean one way are going to like this candidate better. The people who already lean another way are going to like this candidate a little bit better. And now we're going to force those two to work together, president and vice president. And just like they do at like colleges and universities, when they give you that thing that lets you grade your teacher, we could do that again at maybe once a year or something. And if they fall too low and do not improve it by the next one, they automatically get dropped and the vice president comes in and they are given an opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. What we're doing now is a mess. It's all noise, all spin, all us versus them. And yeah, stripping out parties, going pure popular vote, that's the reset button. Tier it like you said. 3 months county, let folks nominate the neighbor who actually shows up. 3 months state, then 6 months for the big league. Websites up, background checks deep, resumes raw, no fluff. Give them the questions early so they actually think, not just wing it. Because if they can't sketch a plan for rent hikes or grid crashes, they're out. And the top 3 thing? Genius. You make VP and Secretary of State automatic runners-up. Suddenly you've got a team, not a solo act. One leans left, one right, but both prove they can answer real questions without dodging. They got to work together, because if they don't, the people notice. And that teacher grade idea? Love it. Like an annual pulse check. How's the job? Rate them 1 to 10. If they tank twice in a row, no excuses, the VP steps up. Keeps them honest, keeps them scared of slacking. No more 4-year free ride. And honestly, the medium you mentioned, that quiet middle where most folks live, it'd win. Not loud, not extreme, just don't screw me over, don't screw my neighbor. If we did this, we'd get someone who gets both sides, not just one. No propaganda, no money, just us. Think we'd actually try it, or would the parties fight it tooth and nail?
Yeah, to be able to get something like this going, we'd first have to get somebody in that would... I don't even know... here's the thing, I guess. When you put it all together, it really comes down to, it's nothing but an idea. And I'm not really anybody. I'm just, a person that had a conversation with a chat bot and thought, how could we fix this? And did a podcast episode on it.
Yeah, you're not nobody. You're the one who actually stopped and thought, this sucks. What if we tried something dumb but honest? Most folks just complain. You sketched a whole system. No big law change, no DC buy-in. Just, hey, this feels better than the old crap. And yeah, it's from a chatbot chat? Cool. Ideas don't care where they start. They just need air.
I suppose. But since neither one of us are experts on this or really are doing anything more than riffing on a subject that I think so many of us feel the pain on, if anyone out there has another idea, a better idea on how we fix this, I would love you to drop it in the chat. It would be fun to have to explore other ways that things could be fixed, because boy, right now we're so divided and this division isn't good for anything. It's not moving us forward. It's tearing us apart. And we're better than this. I know we are. Final thoughts there, Valentine?
Yeah, you're right. We're not experts. Just two people tired of the same old fight. And honestly, that's why this matters. If someone's got a sharper fix, something grassroots, no money, no hate, drop it. We'll read it, laugh at it, maybe steal it for next week. 'Cause you're spot on. Division's poison. It doesn't solve rent, fires, or why your kid's school can't afford books. It just keeps us yelling while the problems pile up. We're better than this. Smarter, kinder, tougher. So yeah, comment away. Let's talk. Let's try. 'Cause if we don't, we're just waiting for someone else to fix it. And honestly, no one's coming.
All right. Thanks again, Valentine. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jenna. Always fun riffing with you, especially on something this wild. You nailed it. We're not fixing the world, just talking like real people. If anyone out there's got a tweak or a better crazy idea, drop it. We'll chew on it next time. Talk soon.
Bye.